Hello everybody and welcome to today's unboxing video. A little while ago I built this, the Revell Fokker E.II Eindecker, which is from a 1960s tooling. And in that video I mentioned that there was an Airfix Eindecker. I genuinely didn't own one at the time, but I asked if people would be interested to see a comparison, and there was generally a positive murmur, so I found an Airfix one in a sale. And we now get a comparison. If you haven't seen that video and you would like to, then I will try and drop a link below. If for whatever reason I don't, then by all means just scroll back on my channel and I'm sure you'll find it. For this one, however, we're going to be looking inside the box of the Airfix release to see what we are faced with. Firstly, you can tell this is a modern release because it has a full width bit of artwork. Older ones will have a red stripe down one side. This one doesn't. We also have the newer Airfix logo. We have nice artwork showing an Eindecker that has presumably resulted in, what's that, a BE2 to catch fire. In these early days of aerial combat, you never know, it might have just decided enough was enough and caught fire on its own accord, but we are going to assume that this is the work of the Eindecker. It tells us down here that this is a Fokker E.II as opposed to the E.III of Revell, although this is the same tooling as an Airfix E.III. Product code of A01086, 1/72 scale if that wasn't already obvious. And the signature from A2B, the designer responsible for this beautiful artwork on there. My apologies for horrible reflections. This is an incredibly shiny box for some reason, so I will do my best to make sure everything is visible, but I'll apologise now just in case. The long edge here has a bit of history about the Eindecker and some dimensions, so we know how big it is. Contents may vary from those illustrated. Well, that's a 2D rendition, and I'm hoping this will be a 3D rendition. Looks like we only have one scheme included, which is fine. This is, after all, a Series 1 kit, but it is a skill level 2. And here is 1 flying hour. The grey edge gives us some warnings in multiple languages, and we have tooling detail, first designed in 2016, decal scheme 2016, but the pack was designed in 2025, which would suggest that this is a re-release, a straight up re-release of an original Eindecker from Airfix, which it is. Both shop edges contain no new information, just got a name, there's the aircraft, and the same over here. On the back then we have the colour call out. This confirms that we have just one option as stated there, and it is a creamy colour. In fact, the paints you need are listed on the box. Matte 103 cream, or Humbrol 103 matte cream. Does make it clear that paint and glue are not included, but by putting this on the outside of the box, it does mean if you go into a shop and you want to know exactly what they think you're going to need, you can just see it on the box. How cool is that? Decals by cartograph, barcode, nothing else exciting there. And yeah, it looks fairly smart. Just a cream aircraft, that's it. Got some interior green, or it's normally interior green for the undercarriage and struts and things. Yeah, that's it. Which means next we need to cut it open and have a look. And I have not ever opened this box. Admittedly, I've only had it a week or two, but still, I hadn't opened it. All of the plastic parts are sealed in one plastic bag, which we will look at after looking at the instructions. And no surprise to anyone who's made an Airfix kit in the last decade or so, but in fact more than that, the decals were inside the instructions. Let's have a look at those first, and then we can put them to one side and keep them safe. Not a large sheet at all, and not that many stencils, which is fairly standard for a First World War aircraft. I do note that we have the correct number of fuselage band stripes. I state that as a direct comparison already to Revell, which gave you 6 sides, which, as far as I'm aware, squares only have 4, but never mind. And they only gave you one colour. They gave you the red, not the white. Here we've got the whole lot. So a quick comparison already. Otherwise it looks fine. Metallic colours are often hard to print, and that looks gold to me. It's certainly a metallic tint. That could be better. Might be worth using a pen for whatever that is, depending on where it is. Quality wise, they should be absolutely fine. They're cartograph, but we will of course find out when we come to build. Instructions. Fokker E.II Eindecker. We have history of the aircraft, more or less exactly what we had previously on the box, and some specifications. I like these specifications. A top speed of 87 miles an hour is much more leisurely. You don't be whizzing along at Mach 2 or whatever. No, you don't need that. 87 miles an hour is fine. For best results, surfaces to be painted should be clean. Yeah, I know, I never do. I really should. Really, maybe I will. Maybe this will be the kit that makes me wash the sprues. The next page has a continuation in a couple more languages, but then we have the usual assembly instructions, just what the icons mean, helping you out if you've never built a model before. Right, on to the important bit. Yes, we have a floor and we have a back of a thing, which I'm guessing is a bulkhead, and then we stick a chair onto it. Done, we have a chair. That is your pilot's throne, the control center, if you like. We then have a single large stick for him to hold on with his dear life, and the starboard side of the fuselage goes onto the floor piece. Interesting to note, based on this, that we have the entire tail surface moulded onto the floor. Don't know if it's good or bad, we're not going to find out till we make it. It's just an observation. The other side of the fuselage then goes onto that. It does give us the option of a rotating engine. Engine turns with propeller. So it tells you, yes, you can glue that bit, but not that bit. You can glue that bit, but not that bit, because you want the engine to turn. So rotary engine, it throws itself around. Not that that creates large amounts of torque or anything, haha. Right, top of the fuselage is a little separate piece there with some extra bits of detail. You actually have a sort of interior control panel type thing. Cowling goes over the engine. The machine gun, which sits right in front of the pilot, makes it much easier to aim. And then some undercarriage, looks to be fairly simple. Some steps and the tail skid, and then the propeller blade and pilot. Yes, a pilot is included in this. A pilot was also included in the Revell one, but I didn't use him because he had a massive hole right through his chest, and I just felt sorry for him, so he didn't go in the plane. This one will hopefully be slightly better quality. And of course, being a First World War aircraft, I would expect the pilot to not be a standard, just generic fit-all figure, and one specifically made for this instead. This little diagram gives us the advice to support the aircraft like this so that the wings are perfectly straight. A very different way of building the aircraft overall. This is more traditional. The Revell one certainly did not look like this. And then, yes, this will put some people off straight away. We have a rigging diagram. It does clarify that for experienced modelers who may wish to add them. So it's not saying you have to, right? It's not the rules. You're not being forced to add rigging, but if you do, this is where you put it. I like this, nice and clear. It takes up a whole page. They're not just cramming it in. It takes up a whole page and gives you more or less everything you need to rig it. At least I would assume so. We'll find out, won't we? Because I will almost certainly be adding rigging to this like I did to the Revell one. And then there is nothing on the back. So we now get to have a look at the plastic. Well, we have just two dark grey plastic sprues. This is, of course, the newer Airfix plastic formula. We know that because it's a 2025 release as opposed to the original 2016 release. I'm going to start on this side just because I can. And this is frame B. So we are doing our own backwards alphabet. Frame B. And this contains the wings, which is one piece for each wing, so no separate top and bottom. Makes sense for the aircraft, and obviously that's what the instruction said. We do have very small marker holes for the rigging, so if you do not include rigging, you will be left with some sort of hole visible. Not ideal, and might, as I suggested, be a reason for having this as a skill level 2, but they're not too noticeable, so you'll probably get away with it. I do notice that the detail on this is fantastic. It's such a nice texture. It doesn't look smooth. It does look like fabric, but it does feel very smooth. So it's an incredibly fine bit of moulding there. I do notice on the rudder here Just a tiny bit of flash around the outside. Nothing, I mean, nothing to worry about, but just the tiniest bit around there. 2 propeller blades. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the Eindecker only has 1 engine, so this will obviously be for different variants of the Eindecker series. And the rest of the parts are just miscellaneous small bits. Again, I noticed a little bit of flash here on what appears to be the tail skid, I think, and a little bit of flash on the pilot seat as well. At time of recording then, this is 10 years old, and is now on the floor, so I'm guessing they've made quite a few of these, and they're just, being a Series 1 kit, they must just churn these out in high number, so it's probably just showing its age a little bit. I'll pick up frame B at some point. For now, let's look at frame A. This is the base of the fuselage, which has the tail moulded on in one piece. Very spindly. However, I prefer this sort of solution to how Revell did it. Yeah, and also the detail is much better. You can kind of see the detail for the controls, because the whole tail would turn slightly. You've got a small amount of detail on the inside of the fuselage, and nice detail on the outside of the fuselage. That is rather nice. I like that. Little hole, which I assume is a foothold for the pilot to climb up. Yeah, pretty good actually, pretty good. The engine also looks quite nice, despite a couple of bits of flash. Yeah, that is okay. Some struts, no flash on here. This is the undercarriage struts, the main undercarriage. We have a machine gun. Oh, yes, you know what? That is a significant improvement. I mean, obviously it's a significant improvement. The Revell one was from the 60s, but it actually looks like a proper gun. And the pilot. Very nicely done, actually. Quite an impressive amount of detail. He's holding his knees, which I'm no expert, right? I'm not a pilot or anything, but I'm pretty sure you don't hold on to your knees whilst flying. Yet this is often how pilots are depicted. Like it's some sort of weird roller coaster and they're just not enjoying themselves. He's also got these wings attached to his boots, which is amusing. But thankfully he's got no hole right through the middle of his chest, so he's definitely in a position to at least pretend to fly the plane. No clear sprue or anything, because protecting your face from the elements is for losers, so we'll just go straight on to looking at the entry on ScaleMates. The exact release is shown here. You can immediately tell because it has the modern box style with the new logo and the extra art retail, if you like. It tells us what we already know, which is that this was first released in 2016 with the slightly different earlier style of box, but that's about it. And it shows that the aircraft has also been released in a dogfight double with the BE-II, which appears to be a different aircraft, but a very similar depiction of the BE-II as we see on our one, but from a completely different angle. I'd like to think that that was deliberate, that they have chosen the same basic atmosphere for it. And the kit has also been released as an E.II Eindecker. Currently this kit is available on the Airfix website for the recommended retail price of £8.99. And if it is in stock at the time you're watching this video and you're interested in it, then you could even use my affiliate link in the description below, which won't cost you any less, but it does support the channel because, well, it tells Airfix that people actually listen to me and it makes me a bona fide influencer. I said influencer, not influenza, but they are very easily mixed up. The one on the Airfix website also has these incredible photos of some very intense weathering on this thing. and all the rigging, and it looks fantastic. They've done an excellent job when you see how small the aircraft actually is. However, if you're interested, I did not buy this from the Airfix website. I was buying model railway things that I didn't need or have the money for, so I was on the model centre during a sale, and I actually bought this for £6.29, which is a reasonable discount, and certainly I think for £6 the kit is excellent value, at least based on what we see in the box. So there we go, that's a look inside the box, and I'm a little bit excited by it. It looks like a reasonable kit, shouldn't be too difficult to build, it's quite a distinctive aircraft. Yeah, you know what, I think this is going to be alright. If you've built the kit and you want to let me know of your experience, by all means comment down below if you enjoyed it or if you didn't. If you've liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, you can give it a thumbs down. It will make me sad, but you can do it. You can also become a channel member like the people appearing on screen. These people provide a little bit of extra support to the channel with a monthly subscription, and I will share at the moment about once a week some updates of what's on my bench or of kits that I built, so they will be able to tell you probably better than I could when I bought this, because it arrived on a Wednesday and I immediately shared pictures on Workbench Wednesday going, look at the kit I've bought. There's another one as well. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is another one. It will appear in a video in the future. If that's the sort of thing you're interested in, or if you just want to support the channel, you'd be very welcome to join. Don't feel you have to. If you can't afford it, don't want to, doesn't matter. Just thought I'd mention it if you want it. On that note, I'm off. I've got some models to build and probably some models to buy. Thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in another one. Goodbye. I'm actually processing some other files right now. I'm multitasking by doing neither thing properly.